you came up with somebody, and you guys were staying in a small camper, and you finally said, okay, this is not working and whatnot. And so you ran into the people that own Tamarack, and you said, well, give it a try. Give me a try. I'll work for free.
From the many years spent building a mining empire out of nothing due to his humble beginnings in a land far, far away from the mines in Alaska and Canada, to the massive fortune that he has been able to amass over the years as he staked his claim as the king of the Klondike, here are the millions that Tony Beets is hiding from you. Over the years, we have seen how many people have indulged in the search for gold in the Gold Rush TV show. As such, it should come as no surprise that several of these people were able to achieve varying levels of success as the many seasons of the Gold Rush went by. For starters, there's Parker Schnabel, who has been able to amass a personal fortune that is said to be something between $10 million to $15 million after several years spent working in the mines in the Yukon and other parts of Alaska. Some may say that this is either due to the many years of experience that came with being a member of a gold mining family.
I'm a bit conflicted because we could stay in one place here and actually learn the place and know what's going on. Or we can take the time to pack up and move, and it's just eats into the time that we have. It's just not super clear cut for me.
While others attribute this to the drive of the talented young man who is believed to have been working in some of these mines even before he was a teenager.
I'd like to think after 8 years I'm starting to be able to read the ground. I just get a feeling there's more gold here. The way this material is piled up in here, I think the best stuff that there is could be at this corner.
Then there are the likes of Todd Hoffman and Rick Ness, who decided to strike out on their own after working with other mine bosses. They too have been able to develop personal net worths that were in the value of millions of dollars. As such, it should come as no surprise that Tony Beets, one of the most outstanding veterans of the lot, can boast of a decent fortune after several decades working in the mines. Now the leader of the gold mining operations that can be found in the Paradise Hill claims, Tony has been able to develop a huge fortune, so much so that he earned the moniker of the King of the Klondike. That said, we are left to wonder exactly how rich this gold mining veteran is. Did he make all his fortune in these gold mines? Or did some of it come from other sources outside the mines? If so, what is the true value of this gold mining legend's net worth? Well, maybe the best place to start is his association with the Gold Rush TV show. For several years now, the TV show has been able to show the world how Tony and his gold mining crew live it all at the mines every day, as the search for the gold that has helped them thrive for many years. In fact, it is a testament to the determination and tenacity of Tony and the rest of his crew, because they have been able to overcome the harsh elements that can be found in such places, just so that they can find the precious gold that is buried there. As such, one can see that Tony and perhaps some of the other members of his crew make a lot of money while they are out there.
Dirt moving came natural, equipment came natural, 7 days a week, 14 hours a day. And that lasted for the full 6 months. No days off, no off. Not everybody can do that.
Not only do they receive some profits from their work in these gold mines, they must all get a pretty penny from the network, thanks to their work on the TV show. With that in mind, again we are left to ponder on exactly how much Tony must be making, because as the monarch of the Klondike, he must be raking in a ton of money as the head of his operation, and as one of the most beloved members of the show. After all, Gold Rush is a TV show that focuses on the search for gold in many different parts of the world. Considering the fact that Tony is part of the main cast that started this entire franchise, and that he seems to be one of the most popular members of the cast of the show, it is clear that Tony is a man of high value whose worth may be too much to measure. Thanks to the show, we've been able to watch as Tony and his crew gained a huge fortune worth its weight in all the gold that they found in the mines. Thanks to this, Tony has been able to acquire quite a bit of property in the area over the years. This is a far cry from his start in Wiedenes, Netherlands, where he was born on the 15th of December 1959. Unlike Parker, he wasn't thrown into a life of gold mining in his early days. In fact, as far as we can tell, Tony got his start by making a living by milking cows while working for his family for many years. Soon he would fall in love and marry Minnie, his childhood neighbor and sweetheart. Dissatisfied with essentially being a farmhand for his family, Tony decided to make the move to Canada with Minnie so that he may find his fortune thanks to what seemed to be better employment opportunities in the country. Before long, Tony started finding his feet after landing a job in construction while also developing his family with Minnie. After supporting himself and his growing family of 4 children, thanks to these construction gigs for the next 3 years, Tony made his final occupational transition when he started his mining mining career in Dawson City, Yukon Territory in 1984. Although Tony and his family would have to mourn the loss of Jasmine, one of his daughters, at the age of 2, Tony continued to get a firm hold of his career as a gold miner.
I mean, you grow up on the farm, you see what you do is you do whatever is there. You used to have, what, 25, 30 cows, I guess. When you come out of school, you milk the cows. Yeah, when you live on the farm, you don't know any better. It's normal.
Thankfully, the rest of the family were able to contribute to Tony's mining business as the years went by. Minnie took charge of the bookkeeping and paperwork for her husband's company. She also helped her husband manage the winter property in Arizona, and it was probably due to her good work managing the family's finances that Tony is able to drive around in that $145,000 Mercedes-Benz convertible that we see him in all the time. Over the years, Tony eventually gained control of the Tamarack mines. Although he was noted to have hired children in the area, one can say that those children and people who took the tasking jobs were eventually able to adapt to the tough conditions, so much so that they eventually became some of the most important members of the team as the years went by. After many years of this, Tony eventually found his way onto the show when they needed someone to help Todd Hoffman on the mines with the drilling of test holes in the second season of the show. This must have felt rewarding after he made that risky decision to leave all that he held dear so that he could make that move to Canada for better employment opportunities. Then again, could you blame him? Even when he was still in the Netherlands, he couldn't believe the rumors he heard. Apparently, these gold miners over in Canada were making as much as $1,000 per week. This fed into the desire that he had to succeed, a desire that had been burning in him ever since he was a gangly teenager milking cows for a living in his hometown. That said, he had to calm down a little, because before he made that leap across the ocean, he was forced to take over the family farm when his father suffered a debilitating injury from an accident that rendered him unable to work for some time. As a result, Tony saw that he was put in charge of men that were twice his age. This undoubtedly gave him a crash course in leadership, as when he saw that he was put in charge of people who were more competent than him, Tony resolved himself to make sure that he was even more competent than such people.
He learned English on construction sites. I learned from soap operas.
That was the only way he could earn their respect. This was a sentiment that stayed with him for the rest of his professional life, and as a result, he saw that everywhere he went, he was quickly put into management positions thanks to his high level of skill and competence that complemented his leadership skills. With this in mind, he was able to make the most of that opportunity in which miners were making more than $1,000 per week. In order to take that opportunity with both hands, Tony went straight to Whitehorse where he was hoping to get his hands on that gold himself. Unfortunately, when he got there, he realized that he still had a lot to learn about this job, because when he got there, he found out that he got there too early, which meant that the gold mining season hadn't started just yet. Alas, he had to wait a bit longer before he could start grabbing at all the gold that he could find in British Columbia. This is just one of the many challenges that Tony had to overcome in his life. For example, this takes us back to when Tony was a machine operator who was responsible for driving what is known as earth movers when he was working in the Tamarack mines. After overcoming such early years, Tony's career shot up when he made a significant discovery while working in Eureka Creek in 2018. This is when he and his crew were able to extract 3,600 troy ounces of gold out of the ground that season. This helped Tony and his crew earn as much as $4.39 million in value on its own. As you can imagine, this set Tony and their team well on their way to success and helped them establish a base that they could work with comfortably for many years to come. Once this was established, it made sense that Tony decided to expand his sources of income, and as such, over time, people found that Tony's source of income was not limited to gold alone. With the Tamarack mines operations being located in the Klondike region of the Yukon in Canada, Tony was able to make the most of his status as the proprietor of the business to run this mining operation as perfectly as possible thanks to Minnie and the rest of the family. Minnie especially is there to help Tony with their other business, such as their Gorilla Cookie brand that they have been working on for some time now.
Yeah, I want to get up on top of the hill. Work your way up, you pay attention, you're never last in the morning, you're never forced to leave in the evening. And I mean, you always wonder how the hell you can get your own, and how are you going to pull this off, and how are you going to do that. You got to go after it.
Now with his mining operation working seamlessly as he and his family manage it, as well as the other endeavors that they are involved in, it should come as no surprise how Tony has been recognized as the king of the Klondike, as he seems to run the most successful mining operation in the area. Right now, Beets is so successful, he is the owner of one of the significant privately held gold gold mines in the region. Despite this, there are those that think that Tony is sitting and chilling while enjoying the fruits of his labor that he has had to endure over the years. Well, they will be shocked and surprised because those who know Tony know that he doesn't sit still. As such, it will come as no surprise that over the last 7 months of the mining season, Tony and his crew have been working 12 to 14-hour workdays almost every day of the week. Hey, there is a lot of gold waiting for Tony and his team out there, and they'd be damned if they miss out on it because they cannot handle the hours. One will find that despite such long hours, Tony and his crew do not complain about the harsh conditions that they find themselves in, even when the work stalls, when one of their machines malfunction. This is not easy because gold mining is a tasking process. Some of us think that we understand this fact, but until maybe you get out there, you may never appreciate what these people put themselves through just to make ends meet. They know that if they do not put in all their effort for as long as possible while they are out there, they may never achieve the success that they think that they are desperate for. Only the likes of Tony Beets and Parker Schnabel, for example, may be able to exemplify such sentiments to the fullest. Add the fact that despite all the efforts they put in, they have no guarantees that they would be successful. Perhaps one may understand how difficult it may be to believe that one could actually be a successful gold miner. With this in mind, Tony has been able to endure a lot while finding success. For example, there seems to be the saying in the mining community which goes, "If you make $1 million today, you better keep it close because you may require it in the following year."
What about 80 pop?
80 pub, that stuff that we got rained out last year.
Yeah, all you have to do is dig a drain and you can get the drain it.
We have
Dry
no
up.
choice, there's a lake there.
Oh, I know.
Tony soon found that this saying isn't an empty threat, because soon Tony found that he had to spend a lot of money maintaining his mining operations. Luckily, this is Tony that we're talking about. If there is anyone that is going to overcome any issue, it is Tony. After all, we all know Tony to be a highly demanding individual who is hard to please, especially when you do not meet his standards. After all, Tony is not the type to do something that he won't do himself. That is why he has always been able to maintain a role as a hands-on employer who has been able to teach his children and the rest of his crew the importance of hard work and diligence. This is probably why he has always been willing to take the risk of hiring newcomers into the gold mining business. Sure, they are rookies, but with hard work and diligence, they may become just as valuable and successful as he is in the mining business. After all they have to do is look at him as their blueprint. Although he often suggests that these newcomers set small, realistic targets, they can see that it is thanks to his hard work and diligence that he was able to obtain the crown jewel of his mining operation. This would be Eureka Creek, a claim that is resting comfortably in the middle of the Klondike as we speak. Ever the hands-on leader, Tony always seems to be working with the massive Viking dredge because he is the one who is in charge of operating this beast of a machine. Imagine working with what is essentially a large bucket that is worth about 350 tons. At the cost of $1 million, maybe it makes sense that only the experienced hands of the boss works with this thing for the time being. We don't want any rookies looking for any excuses as the reason why the machine began to malfunction on his watch. Then again, maybe Tony seemed to be so attached to this dredge because he was the one who found it abandoned and dormant after it hadn't been used for more than 30 years. Well, as Tony enjoyed playing with his massive toys, he would be able to tell you that you cannot enjoy the fruits of your labor without going through 1 or 2 challenges over the years.
So what that's not even all that funny.
No.
At this point, I'm very skeptic. It's your party, but this, we pretty much have to run that through Mike Strommel.
For example, over the course of the 6 weeks that they were initially working with the dredge, the thing sank twice. Imagine that. Apparently, for every day that the machine was out of commission, it cost the team about $1,000 in earnings. As you can imagine, any reasonable mine boss would feel sick to their stomach when they heard this. Thankfully, after tweaking the machine to suit the specific needs of the team, the machine is now working without a hitch. As such, one cannot begrudge Tony too much when they see him enjoying the power and the functionality of this Viking dredge.
What is happening, Minnie?
You cannot move the dreads.
This something is right out whack.
Somebody complained, and then you can jump high and you can jump
Get
low.
enough troubles building them boats. We finally get them ready to go down the Yukon River. That is absolutely ludicrous.
As much as Eureka Creek may be the crown jewel of Tony Beets' mining empires, Tony does have other mining claims that are integral to his portfolio. Elsewhere, Tony also has to manage the affairs of the Tamarack Inc. claim, which is another claim that he has owned for more than 30 years now. With such claims in his portfolio, one cannot be surprised to learn that Tony is worth about $15 million today. At the age of 64, it is truly inspirational that Tony's drive for success is still so strong despite being able to boast of such a healthy fortune. Maybe it is due to his appearances on the Gold Rush TV series. After all, if the fans are eagerly clamoring for you when you make your appearances on the TV show, surely you'd want to give them exactly what they asked for. Well, it was easy for Tony to become a star on this show because all the fans want to see is how these gold miners endure the harsh conditions in the mines of Alaska and Canada just so they can get their hands on those nuggets of gold that could change people's lives forever. Considering that Tony's powerful leadership qualities as well as his blunt but affable personality are always on full display on the show.
Well, gentlemen, what do you think? We climbed the hill, done and over with. No rain, no snow. We got it out, we got it accomplished. Done deal. So far as I'm concerned, gold around it, let's get home. If it snows in the morning, we don't care. We are done.
It should come as no surprise that he is one of the most popular cast members ever since he made his first appearance in Season 2. Maybe this popularity could also be attributed to the fact that he is also the wealthiest cast member with the highest net worth thanks to the $15 million that he has in the bank. The only other person that comes close in terms of net worth is Parker Schnabel, who is worth about $8 million to $10 million himself. As such, Tony's level of success makes him stand out as the embodiment of the American dream. Imagine starting life out as a farmhand who spent his days milking cows, only to end up in your 60s with a net worth of about $15 million. Some people don't even see a percentage of that in their entire lifetimes. With this in mind, one can see how Tony is allowed to enjoy himself and the fruit of his lifelong labor. That is why we can't begrudge him and Minnie for enjoying that beautiful mansion in Maricopa, Arizona.
Anyway, so I'll go around to the deck or what?
I love this view.
Those are the hills.
That's the road.
There, the Beets can enjoy the breathtaking views their beautiful $350,000 home gives them when they are not toiling hard in the mines in Alaska and Canada. That said, Tony still has some money to spare on that beautiful car that he loves so much. It is interesting though because Tony didn't seem like the type to spend his money on expensive cars. Either way, we were all happy for him when he pulled up in that $145,000 Mercedes convertible that we mentioned earlier on. Sure, he may not be one to get some of the more lavish things in life, but with this car in his parking lot, one can see how Tony is a major player in his field of work. With all that in mind, nobody can take anything away from the fact that the main love in Tony's life, apart from his wife and children, is of course his machines. As a result, one will also see that a good chunk of his money goes to the heavy trucks and specialized industrial machinery that goes into his mining business. That may be the only way that he can extract that valuable gold that helped him earn his fortune. Whether it is a mining operation that is located in Paradise Hill or elsewhere in Canada or Alaska.
If he wants to work harder, if he wants to do more gold, why the hell would I want to stop him? That wouldn't make no sense. So on the end of the day, he gets more gold, we get more gold. I mean, Minnie will be happy. I'll just do what I'll do.
We know that Tony has been able to make the most of his life and his talent by setting up these profitable mining operations despite coming from the most humble of beginnings. That is why we have to accept it when he claims to be the king of the Klondike. From the many years spent building a mining empire out of nothing due to his humble beginnings in a land far, far away from the mines in Alaska and Canada to the massive fortune that he has been able to amass over the years as he staked his claim as the king of the Klondike, here are the millions that Tony Beets is hiding from you.